Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Well, I don't want to steal anybody's line either. So, all right, we hit record there. We'll just hang out for a second. Oh, man.
We will hang out.
Okay, well, we are efforting a guest, so we will see if that happens
Yes,
or not.
we are.
All right, you know what? Let's get started here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Friday night edition of Talking Elite Fitness from the Courtyard Marriott in downtown Miami. We're just about, I don't know, still trying to figure out what that distance is. I said a par 5 last night. About a good, what, 800
I feel like it's
meters?
like a half mile.
It's about a half mile.
Yeah.
I felt like by walking it, that's like, yeah, that's what the feeling I get when I like walk a.
It's like too fast and furious.
Yeah. All right. Noel's here. Craig's here. We got some good people. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Good to see you, Julie.
Welcome.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, we have the conclusion of the individual competition. We'll talk about that in a second. I get to our athlete of the day, our moment of the day, and then I have one big question that I want to ask both of you that I was thinking about. Tommy and I already kicked this around a second.
Mystery question.
Thank you, Carter. Appreciate it, man. And again, props to Lauren. Another solid day for you on the commentary job.
I was like, why? What did I do?
I'm proud of you. You're doing great work.
Thank you, Sean, for taking me under your wing.
Hey, you haven't needed a whole lot of guidance. So.
You are the Brent Fikowski of the broadcast space. You're the professor.
I have multiple spreadsheets, so yes, that's
you do.
That would qualify me in that category. But before we start, our Talking Elite Fitness coverage of Wodapalooza is presented by Reebok. If you guys want to shop the new Nano X4 that is out now, you can scan the QR code on your screen and take advantage of that. Reebok people have treated us really well when we're down here and appreciate all the support. So check them out. Shop the Nano X4. It is out right now. And Julie, you're absolutely right. Lauren is doing a great job commentating.
Thank you.
Thank you for the positivity. We appreciate it. Okay, let's get into the competition. I will pull up the leaderboard here and start to kind of recap everything that happened. So we had 2 events today for the women. We'll start on the women's side where the podium. Emma Carey, 458 points. She finishes in first, a 6-point win over Gabby McGowa, who takes second, and Danielle Brandon, who was a late addition to the competition, takes third. Ariel Lowen and Rebecca Vidison rounding out the top 5. So impressive performance from Emma Carey. I mean, look at these results. And in double or nothing, she took 12th. After that, everything was first or second. That is dominant.
Mm-hmm. And I've kind of harped on this quite a bit, but in every single one of those performances, it was like this slow, gradual takeoff for her throughout the event.
Mm-hmm.
And by middle of the event, she had started to pull into the front, and then 3/4 of the way she was out there with the leader or just running away with it. It's just
Scott. I'm not rocking the pigtails.
I would say I know it's something she's worked on, so it's really cool to see like the maturation of an athlete in front of your eyes.
Oh, for sure.
From a year ago when we sat down with her at the podcast stage, you could see the excitement, a little nervousness, obviously getting back to competition and having those moments of finally getting to trust herself as an athlete, and some great things are happening.
And well, if you haven't watched the Wodapalooza 360 that Wodapalooza put out, it's on their YouTube channel. It was a feature that I had a hand in crafting, and it's a behind the scenes sort of look at that competition through the eyes of both Pat Vellner and Emma Carey. And you hear some really good things that Emma Carey talked about as far as learning about what it takes to compete, learning that you don't always have to win, you don't always have to be perfect, and learning how to approach different events and what the payoff is if she kind of adheres to the plan. And it was very clear to me, and we heard Brent Fikowski talk about this, I think, on the post-game interview. If you're not winning, you're learning. But I think Emma did a little bit of both last year, finishing third, and I think she probably did a little bit of both here, winning the entire competition.
Well, it's interesting because I spoke with her today before they did the award ceremony. I interviewed her. That will be on our Instagram after this. But one of the big things she said is her goal wasn't to win this weekend. It was to just A, be healthy, and B, go out there and have fun. And she was reflecting on a moment back when she was competing at Granite Games. I think that might have been the first time that we saw her in the elite individual division. And I forget, I think it was the burpee box jump over workout, and she just crumbled. She went out too hot, mispaced it, and was super emotional in the back. And she was just reflecting on, Ariel Lowen came up to me. She was so kind And I just kind of keep that in the back of my mind. And it has really humbled me in these situations that even if you're upset, even if you don't perform the way that you want to, just being kind and reflecting that, things are bigger than winning every single time.
Yeah.
Was that wasn't the one with the double overhead kettlebell lunge?
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Because there was an opportunity for her to actually win. And,
Mhm.
all the hype was around her and Mal O'Brien at the time.
Yeah.
And she came out really hot. And it was one of those scenarios similar to Brent Fikowski in the handstand walk in 2019, when he was like a foot from the finish.
Yeah.
He almost paced it perfectly and just had it crumbled down at the last moment. And you could see some confusion from her, almost at like, not quite like my body's betraying me.
Yeah.
But like, I'm in unfamiliar waters right now and I'm not sure how to process it in this moment. And what I thought would be like this really shining moment for me. And now I'm trying to pick up the pieces and still qualify, which she was no danger of not doing. But I think those little moments of adversity have really proven fruitful for her in the long term. And that's a credit to her. She does a lot of work on her mental game.
Yeah. Well, credit to Noelle for reading my mind, because I do think Emma's momentum will carry into the season. And Julie said that she should probably be in the conversation. Not that she wasn't already going to be in the conversation as we move through the game season for a podium finish in Fort Worth. I got to get used to saying that.
I know. I keep saying Madison still.
I'm trying to get that out of my head. But were there any big surprises for you let's start with the women and then we'll move over to the men. And I'll start. I mean, I look at Rebecca Fuselier in 9th place. That I don't think I expected her to be inside the top 10. And then on the reverse of that, someone who I did think was going to be in, I think, the top 5. And I bought this because we did our buy or sell thing, and the success that she's had in the past at Wodapalooza is Danny Spiegel, not inside the top 10. So I'd call those two the biggest surprises to me. I'm really impressed with Fuselier finishing 9th overall.
Yeah, I think Danny was one of the athletes that maybe benefited the least from the workout adjustments.
Yeah, the changes,
and I think as a whole, just after that, maybe was just a little bit more focused on just, sticking to my lane, having a good time. And
the costly no rep in the snatch event. I mean, a workout that I think most of us predicted her to win.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still second overall in that workout.
Yeah, did we ever figure out why that with the no rep?
I think she didn't stand all the way up before coming back down is what I've heard. But
I was standing at the 45 there getting ready for, interviews and everything like that, assuming we were going to talk to her. And that's what I saw. So immediately on that, as she lowered, my thought was, oof, too soon. And then the no rep came.
Okay.
And I think it was not getting that full extension, standing up at the top, doing what basically everyone does in a complex anyways. You're like 90% of the way. You're like, I got this. I'll load it.
Right. So. That's unfortunate because not that it would have made a gigantic difference, but we got to give Gabby McGowan and Danielle Brandon their due as well. I mean, McGowan coming very close to winning the entire thing. Danielle Brandon, who entered the competition because she saw the events and then they changed them and still finishes third. We were talking a lot about the loaded men's field, and we will as the season moves on. But I mean, there are a lot of contenders on the women's side right now.
And how proficient Danielle Brandon is at handstand walking. Her speed,
I mean, insane.
I cannot believe that somebody can be that fast on their hands.
It's a thing of beauty, and it's the best part is it's not one of those situations where she's just brute forcing it too. Like her technique looks great. You look
she
at
looks
her
stable too.
Her upper body and the way she's stacked and how she progresses through that from a movement standpoint is just beautiful.
Round of Shirley Temples for all, says Amanda. Thanks.
Ooh,
Amanda.
I like that.
We're just rocking water right now. This is day 2. We can't the drink is probably not going to start till
every day.
Tomorrow. I think.
I'll be honest. 5 through 9 all win the surprise for me.
Really?
Rebecca Vidison in 5th.
Yeah. Andra Moistis in 6th. I don't think anybody knew. If you were predicting Andra Moistis to finish in the top 10, your name was probably Andra Moistis' mom, because I don't know anybody who had her paying for a top
Moistis.
So that is an impressive performance. And look, we talked about, we'll move on to the men here in a second, but Paige Powers had this situation last year, used this performance to catapult her into her best career season so far. Look at Andra Moistis in 6th place, not really on the radar. Can she carry that momentum now into the rest of the season?
A surprise on the women's side, on the opposite side for me, is Emily Rolfe in 10th.
What, good or bad?
Bad.
Really?
I expected to see her have a higher finish, and maybe it's just because I see some of these names that are newer and we don't see in the mix when she's against the elite field, like at the games or Rogue or those other off-season events. But to me, Emily Rolfe is somebody that is a top 5 contender. So to see her below that, and even what did I say, in 10th, surprised me.
I think she benefits from a longer weekend.
Agreed.
I think her general endurance background and.
But I guess even on day 1, when she was missing those snatches, it just didn't look like the Emily Rolfe I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
she almost didn't get a score on the board.
Yeah, that's not her forte to begin with, but
that two attempts thing just totally changes the calculus of that event. Like, you don't have the one, all right, I'm just going to throw something up because I know I can get something on the board. Like, you can't do that anymore.
That's true.
You know, that second one has got to be. Yeah, you got to take a little bit of risk there.
Yeah.
Here's a throwback for you, Tommy, and this is a good call from Julie Jones. We haven't seen anyone as fast on their hands since Matt Rattay in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you remember that. I don't.
Absolutely.
That name rings a bell, but
yeah,
I'm sure Tommy remembers that. Okay, let's
go
over
out of the Central Regional.
Yeah, let's go over to the men's side.
Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is the nickname.
That's
also,
right. Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
They used to have the Wodapalooza, like it was like the liftoff type event here. That was a couple days before.
Yeah.
He was one of the athletes always perennially competing in that as an accomplished weightlifter. Bumped into him recently, maybe is that Rogue or the games, or at least I still catch up with him from time to time.
Gen Voices are holding up okay.
We have a stacked lineup.
I've lost track of the cough drops that I've downed, and I'm just trying to stay hydrated.
Throat spray.
It's just like a workout. Let me just get me to the finish line, and then I will crumble over on Monday, try to sleep on the flight home, and then recover for the rest of the week. So I appreciate you asking. But on the men's side, Ricky Garrard, 2-time Wodapalooza champion. He wins in pretty, I don't want to say dominant fashion, but 19.5 points over Brent Fikowski, who takes second, and Sam Quant, who
Quant. He's so overlooked. We got to stop doing it.
Yeah. And he was the North American Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson, and a member of the League of Shadows, finishes in third. Pat Vellner battles back. He takes fourth. And then Jack Farlow. You had 4 Canadians in the top 6. Sam Cornwallier coming up for a top 6
Canadians keep taking over.
Look, and Adler wasn't even there. So that's there's an impressive Canadian contingent. Canadian contingent. Good thing I don't. Me fail English, that's impossible. Ricky Garrard.
You throw Ricky in as part of the Commonwealth. Maybe it's
that's true.
England finally getting back at us.
Sam Quad just holding it down for the red, white, and blue in there. But Ricky Garrard had the 13th finish in double or nothing. But then I think everything was in the top 5 after that. A third, a first, a third, a fifth, and a second for Ricky Garrard. I ran into Justin Kotler, and he's like, I just wish Ricky would have done some overhead squats on that first one. Would have helped us out a little bit. But that's why we have these competitions to work things out for the rest of the season. So.
And that was a total goof on his part.
Yeah, it was.
Because he totally intended on doing it, but he got so fired up. He went into a blind celebration rage and set it down. I was talking to him on the sideline after. And I was like, when did you realize that you messed up the overhead squats? He says, as soon as the impact shook me out of it. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I messed up. And you think about that. One overhead squat gets him 10th place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
wow.
Right back in the top 10.
Yeah. But I got to eat a little crow. I thought Pat Vellner was going to win this.
So did I.
You, Lauren, you picked Brent Fikowski, and you were the closest. So congratulations. That's right. And okay,
thank you.
Do you think that this is now the new Brent Fikowski? That after that season, where he took, was it 16th a couple years ago in 2022 at the games? Yeah, he was 16th in 2022. Comes back 4th in 2023. I don't know if he was solidly in the conversation going into last year about a guy who could contend for a spot on the podium. He was like, top 5, top 10, but not in the, we were looking at Medeiros and Krennikov and Garrard and Vellner were solidly in there. But now I think Brent Fikowski is very much in that conversation, given the past couple of performances that we've seen from him.
And what I think is important to know about Brent is he's a tinkerer.
Yeah.
He likes to pull apart, put back together. And he's willing to take the 1-2 steps back for the 3 steps forward, even if that means maybe a slight dip in performance here and there. Mm-hmm. He's very good at seeing the long game for him, whether it's muscle ups or strict handstand push-ups, strict pressing in general that was really poor for him. And so I think it lends itself to having a little bit of a dip year from time to time. But once things start clicking and once he finally gets the majority of everything put back together, then he showcases that top tier improvement and even some new skills from time to time, which we've seen over the past few seasons. I mean, we're not far away from people coming out of 2020 and being like, oh yeah, Brent's time in the top 10 is done.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, he just turns around and podiums in 2021,
Right.
and then is right back in there in 2023. I think this is something that it separates him from the rest of the field, and it's allowed him to be successful for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's not your average CrossFit athlete in terms of size and shape, skill set.
Yeah, good point.
And that tinkering has allowed him to remain successful in a lot of ways because he makes the hard decisions to peel back the onion a little bit and keep pressing.
Well, and as a veteran of the sport, I think it's so interesting to listen to him talk about that. He still gets more knowledge and learns more about his training with every CrossFit competition he does.
Yeah.
Like how old is he now? Just over 30?
He is
So is people
33.
33. He's very mature
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
against these other athletes. And just to hear how humble he is about his athletic ability and that he is still taking in intel for himself and data points to get better, I think is really telling to see him at the top of the leaderboard.
Jen has a question that I think is interesting, and I actually wanted to talk about this guy too. Do you think Guy can bring his weaknesses up enough to make him a true contender?
What did he finish in overall?
He finished in 10th.
10th?
Sorry, 9th. He was 9th. Yeah. I don't. Look, I guess here's the thing. He's known about this for a while. It kind of goes like the Laurel Horvath and the handstand push-up thing.
Yeah,
You've known about it for a while. It hasn't gotten better. You got to find a way to now manage it. And do you think he has had enough time to work these things out? Because it's not like it's a secret.
Yeah, I think it's different than Laura's.
How so?
Because I think Laura has continually worked on it and tried to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think relative to the field, certain things like strict handstand push-ups. Remember 2018, strict handstand push-ups were largely relegated to elites in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple top competitions. Just you might see it at semifinals or regionals back then.
Okay.
It's become so much more prevalent across the board in programming at all levels, right? So naturally, everyone is going to follow suit in that improvement. And I think she has still made that improvement, but her natural skill set and her natural gifts make that improvement much smaller. And we're seeing a large swath of people catch up. And so on the big picture, it may look like she's not working and improving at all.
I'm not saying she's not.
No,
I'm just saying like
for
it's to the point where it's probably not going to get better.
Well, it may not get better.
I think relative to the field,
But
better for herself. But when everybody is getting 1% better and your weakness is only getting your 1% better, how do you ever catch up?
Okay. Yeah. And I think getting better for her is making sure it doesn't prevent her from winning, finishing on the podium, and being one of the elite athletes every time she sets foot on the floor.
Okay.
So, and I think that's where it separates from Guy. There is, how do I put this? There's a little bit more carefreeness to Guy, I think.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And
not that I'll deal with it when it.
And I think he's kind of a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he totally is.
I love that. Watching that kid lift is like watching Picasso paint. It's perfect
so true
every single time. Like you just can't.
I want to watch him hit a true max for anything because we never really have. Nothing looks hard.
It's just insane.
You never see a struggle to stand a squat up. Like it's insane.
Would you call it what? One giant fast twitch muscle?
Yeah. Just
one giant one.
Fast twitch muscle. That's all he is. That's all. That's
right.
But he had a quote that was telling during our interview with him when I said, basically, since he hadn't tested what he thought he had, and is that something in his, line of sight to maybe try and get the all-time record? I think the most ever snatched in CrossFit competition, at the games or, in a CrossFit sanction comp came from Tola.
Yeah.
He's in north of 150 kilos, I think. So we're looking at maybe 330 pounds plus in that avenue.
For a snatch.
Which Guy kind of surmises that I think I got it or in that area. But he was just like, I don't know. Maybe that's like
chill.
An aspect of like different strokes for different folks. But for someone that is so good at something like that, and has such a pedigree in that type of movement. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to get that?
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, interesting question. Biggest surprise on the men's side. There's a couple that just glancing at. I mean,
Of the overall leaderboard.
Of the overall leaderboard. I mean,
Jack
Roman Krennikov in 8th is one of those where I don't think many people had him outside the top 3.
Yeah.
Longer competition, probably works his way back up, and he's in contention.
Because what was he in yesterday?
He was out. He's like an
below the top
18th
10.
or something.
Yeah.
Like he was way out. So he works his way up to 8th. That was an impressive rally for him. But I don't think many people thought he would be outside of the top 4. And then I know you're going to say Jack Farlow, but Jack Farlow in 5th. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. It was funny because when he lifted, Guy said the same thing when I was walking with him. A few other athletes were like, I thought Jack would put up more than that.
I asked him today, and I can't remember what his answer was. I only remember what Emma Lawson's answer was. I was like, hey, like I had my money on him going toe-to-toe with Guy.
I did too.
Why didn't he put more weight on the bar? And Emma was like, he's better at squatting, and he's better at clean and jerk. And then I asked him, and he just seemed like he didn't really care.
Yeah.
Not that he didn't care, but just like, yeah, whatever.
I'm good. I'm in 5th.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, great. It was a great result for him. Okay. Let's get to now our moment of the day. We'll start with that. Mine, there was a couple.
So many.
I really liked Brent Fikowski's late charge there to win that final event and lock up a spot on the podium. I think that was like prototypical Brent Fikowski, just sort of playing the field correctly, understanding what his strategy was, knowing that he didn't have to make the move too early, made it at the end, gets across the finish line, and winds up on the podium. So that was for me, that was the moment of the day. Tommy, moment of the day.
For me, it's James Sprague winning that swim.
Yeah, okay.
Where
I need to change my
answer. Fikowski reeled in Ricky, James reeled back in Fikowski. And, the Buttery Bros will joke that Fikowski got Spragued because if you remember back to the West Coast Classic in 2021, he did the ruck. Sprague was winning, and I think maybe was envisioning his name in the paper as he was coming back into the Orleans Arena. And old Cole Sager said, "Not so fast, my friend."
Yeah. That's true.
Too soon, Junior. Hit the NOS button, and then
that's a good one. I like that one. That celebration was fantastic. I just, like I said on the broadcast, and I'll say it here. You ever get to run into James and his father and spend just a couple minutes with them, you will leave a better person and in a better mood. They're just two fantastic people. I'm glad they're in the community. Every time I talk to them, I'm just like, man, I hope I do half as good a job raising my son as Patrick did raising James. Just a great couple of
people. They're like a
so,
walking Hallmark film.
They are just good people.
I feel like they're in a holiday Lifetime or Hallmark movie, like Christmas with the Spragues.
Oh, there we go. Let's get Hollywood on that
one. One of the funniest Onion headlines I saw was Hallmark scientists close to developing second film plot.
Yep. And the funny part was, Sprague got overtaken by Cole Sager. The reason why Sprague felt so good making that push on Fikowski is because he's been spending time on the air runner at Cole Sager's.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
He's up in the Pacific Northwest. They can't run outside. He's been borrowing Cole Sager's air runner in his garage. So he gave a little shout out there. So, full circle.
Moment of the day, Lauren.
Also from Wipeout in the women's division, Gracie Walton.
Yeah.
You guys called it yesterday. If you're from Australia,
just you can swim.
Keep your eyes on them in the water. And she was very impressive. And also, so many of these athletes, yes, her swimming was amazing in that workout, but also the first time ever using a beaded jump rope for double unders. In a workout like that, I think overall was just really cool to see.
Some athletes were certainly hiding a little sting when they messed up because I was there and I could hear the slap. And I think I don't want to speculate too much, but I think Olivia Kerstetter caught one really nasty.
Really?
And I heard the snap and I looked over and she was like a couple lanes away from me, and she just.
Oh, poor kid.
The old toe stub when you don't want to let him see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, if I was the athlete out there, I would be the obnoxious, hands in the air because when you stub a toe and it hurts so bad.
It's like that Family Guy. The thing with these pieces. Ooh.
Yes, wait, I know that reference. I'm doing so good this weekend.
All right, that's a good one. Okay, let's go to athlete of the day. Athlete of the day. We'll just work our way back. Lauren, athlete of the day.
No.
Now
I need to re-rack.
Emma Carey. Emma Carey is my athlete of the day. Absolutely dominant after, she's an athlete of the last day and a half. Absolutely dominant after her finish in Double or Nothing. Looked like she's a more mature athlete, more complete athlete, looks dangerous. I mean, I agree with some of the people in the comments. She should absolutely be in the conversation for a podium spot in Fort Worth at the CrossFit Games. Super impressed by the way she handled herself. She's dangerous. She's my athlete of the day. Tommy.
Mine's going to be Sam Kwon.
Oh, dang it. You took
Once
mine.
again, I overlooked Sam Kwon. Sorry, Sam.
You shouldn't have. We need to name him something like Sneaky Suspicious Sam.
Like
the triple S.
Let's work on that one.
Yeah,
let's workshop that one.
We're just ideating
This is
right
the first draft.
Hey, thanks, Nick.
I want to say, hold on. Yeah.
Sam Kwon.
Yeah, I'll say Sam Kwon. Right. Brent's obviously up there, but I think just the consistency across the board from him, and I think everyone thought that maybe we might see a push from Roman and a few other athletes to overtake him, and he just seemed like he was hanging tough the entire time.
Lauren, athlete of the day. You can pick the same one too.
Brent Fikowski.
All right. That's a good one.
He did what he needed to, and I did give him a hard time that he is the reason why we won't see the return of PB&J.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, did we not talk about this?
No.
Oh my gosh. So he is the reason why the team isn't getting back together this year.
What?
Vellner and Adler wanted to do team, and Brent was like, no, I only want to do individual. Last year there was a lot of volume. He just wanted to focus on individual before the season started. So he took full credit for the reason why we're not seeing him, and now he's having regrets.
I'm not angry.
No regrets is what I'm
All
always.
regrets is what he's
I'm not
having.
angry. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
Disapproving
father. He
dad
should
look.
know that.
He said he has to leave the people wanting more, and it's
I
not goodbye. It's maybe see you next year.
All right.
Oh my
Final
God! What are you, my college
question.
girlfriend?
Final
That
question
never
here.
comes back.
Never do.
Repeat champion Ricky Garrard. He's coming off the injury from last year. First time champion and Emma Carey. To whom does this mean more?
To whom?
Oh,
I don't know.
To whom does?
Thank you, Nick, again. By the way,
Yeah, man.
appreciate it.
I think Emma Carey.
I think I agree with you.
I agree too.
Especially because Ricky is somebody who we've seen a lot in the off season, and he's always been, at least for me, he's always been in the conversation for top three. If he is healthy and at the competition, I'm always putting my money with him on the podium. And Emma, I would say most of the time she has been in the top three for me, but sometimes I put her in about the top five. And she continues to prove herself when she's out there. Again, a new coach, a new training facility with Mayhem now, and she seems happy. She seems in a good headspace. We talk about she's been through all of this adversity, that I think now is the time where she is, I don't want to say a killer, because if you know I'm a Carey, she's not a killer. That's not the type of athlete she is. But I think that this is a bigger deal for her.
I think she is a killer. I think she gets a killer instinct in her when she competes.
Not in a mean way.
I know what you mean.
In a different way. Yeah, because you see some pictures and she's got that look in her eye, and I'm like, let's go.
She is someone that can become so hyper focused that it allows you to.
She's a kind killer.
Yes.
And that's why I think I
Excuse me
from that voice.
So sorry.
Yes, and then she would apologize 100%.
I think for me, like I look at
just gonna
sorry, shiv in the side.
Turn your head sideways here real quick, don't you mind?
I think for Ricky it's important because obviously coming back from the injury, you want to say, can I get back to where I was? But he's been here before. This is not new to him.
Yeah.
Emma hasn't. And maybe had some doubts, especially with that back injury and what happened. I don't know if she got the result that she wanted at the CrossFit Games. It was great, but I know that she's expecting bigger things overall for her. But to now wind up on top of the podium, took 8th of the games last year, which again, incredible. But I'm guessing for
10.
her, she's like, I think I have more in the tank. She hasn't been on top of a podium like this. And I think for her, that accomplishment probably means more than it does to Ricky, because like Ricky said in his post interview, I'm back where I left, like where I started last season.
Yeah.
So I think they both, obviously means something to both of them, but I think it means more to Emma. So it's unanimous. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and like I think it's an important point which you mentioned about getting on top of the podium. This is only her second event, like competition win as an adult in a major comp.
Oh yeah.
She won North America East. It is as dense, I think, semifinals were this year, but it's just a different environment,
right?
You know, and you look at how the games went for her. She took 39th in Alpaca, and still was able to climb out of that. And that was just a mistake, a couple crucial mistakes, and basically getting 0 points with even a remotely top 10 finish. Let's see. She got
clawed her way back.
And she was 50. Yeah, she was 57 points shy of fourth.
Yeah.
So basically, if she had finished 14th, she'd be in fourth place.
Yeah.
At that one event.
Look out, man. Okay.
It's there for
teams taking over tomorrow. Sarah wants to know what we are excited to see for the teams. I think there's going to be a great three-way battle on the men's side. You got Medeiros coming back, and that's a guy I'm looking forward to seeing him. I know what this is not. It's not apples to apples with a team and an individual, but I think that is someone who should be in the conversation this year based on what he's done in the past. I think last year was a bit of an aberration for him, and I think he is really looking forward to getting back on track in 2024, but really looking forward to seeing those top three teams on the men's side throw down. And it's a fun environment anyway. So that would probably be mine.
I mean, yeah, I love the Dallin team. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Medeiros on the team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Tres Leches is good. Was it the Hombres?
Oh wait, who's that Hombres?
That is Tola, Noah, and Chandler, correct?
Oh, I didn't think Tola was competing.
Oh, yeah,
I must have overlooked that.
Are they? I don't.
Maybe they changed their name. A lot of teams changed their names.
Yeah, maybe that's one.
Because Peak 360 was Scandinavian.
Yep.
Yes.
They've changed their name. So some of these teams have changed their name. So
what the heck? I can't find them on here.
Strapping Young Lads, that's another solid team.
Strapping Young.
Yeah. Just Control F and search for Noah Olsen's name.
Oh, I wouldn't have known how to do that. I don't know how to use these things.
So it's not on the sheet. All right, we'll see.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Let's see.
I'm excited to see how much Ricky has to drag Jason and Dallin. Stop talking, guys. We are
dynamic. That whole dynamic is going to be just fun to watch.
I wish we could mic them
I was just going to say that.
Is there a way that we could do that for the live stream?
Find a way to get a mic on these guys while they're competing. I think that would be hilarious.
Even if like the reporter mic. I don't know. I will volunteer as tribute to go stand by their lane and just.
What you need is those big parabolic.
That's what I was gonna say. Like they hold the NFL games,
with
the big like
shield or
shield. Yeah,
I would love to mic. What would be great if we could mic them up and talk to them
while they're working out. That would be amazing.
I mean, while you're resting, what are you doing? I can, if you can pipe in, like they wear like a little IFB earpiece.
Well, why can't I do that when I'm on the floor?
All right, we got to try that.
Okay, stand by for the broadcast.
The keyboard, it's showing my age with the keyboard shortcuts. I thought that was like young and hip to do the keyboard. I was showing the young people how to use it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
But regardless,
Sean, do you type like this with just your
I know
pointer
how to type.
finger?
My brother, who is in gaming, who is in coding, types like that. He never
really
typed.
Chicken pecker.
Yeah,
that has a name, Chicken Pecker.
Yes, it is. Huh? Damn.
Tick 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 tick. Like you're a chicken pecking at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be
that
would be great. We're
gonna
to find a way to make
keyboard
that
shortcut. There's a shirt out. It just says "freaking the sheets" and it has the Excel.
I was talking to Barkley. I was talking to Barkley Dale about it because we were talking about our spreadsheet knowledge, and I was trying to go toe to toe with him a little bit. I said, "How do you figure out the percentage chances to win?" That guy's like next level of spreadsheets, and he goes, he just looks at me and goes, "It's a formula." It's like, so basically it's math beyond my comprehension. He goes, more or less. I was like, all right.
Sir.
I'm like, look, I know the count if.
I love Barkley.
So good that's guy. It. Yeah. All right. So we will try to try to find a way to make that happen at a broadcast level. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh my god!
They got those mics that are like waterproof that you can get on people. We just have to have
Yep.
someone to agree to do that. So, all right, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got the teams taking the floor tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be back on the broadcast, which has been a lot of fun, and it's a later start, because they have that off-site event first, which is
The
not being
5K.
covered. So if anybody's wondering, that they're not covering that. There might be some highlights. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there is no live stream of that event. Then they'll pick things up later in the afternoon. I think competition gets going around 3:30 local.
Yeah, that's the time
So,
that I have in my mind.
I was starting to see some teams in the warm-up area.
Yeah.
Test some of the implements because the RX, the other team competition started today.
Mhm.
And so the implements were out. So a lot of these new kind of super teams were meeting up in the back just to
talking
get a few test runs.
strategery.
Meeting up in the back.
Julie wants to know, what are you calling tomorrow? Are you your sideline tomorrow? Right?
Yep, tomorrow I'm just doing, me and Brian Friend and I are alternating sideline reporting.
That'll be fun. Yeah. Teams is, let me just tell you about teams from a
It's a little
play-by-play standpoint,
complicated.
is a little bit of a you-know-what show, especially when you have no jerseys, no names. A lot of these teams you can easily identify, but others in some of those early heats, you're like, this guy is, let me look at my picture here and see if that's him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a good time, but
It's like playing Guess Who out there sometimes. Have you played that game?
Yeah,
You remember
no,
that
it
one?
really
Yeah.
is
It's a good game.
a lot of
Yeah.
times too.
But
so
not calling play-by-play, it's not a good guessing game.
I have so much respect for like Joel Gadet and Chase Ingram when he would do
Yeah.
it. And Chase used to do it when it was like 6-person teams. That's like a controlled riot out there on the field. I want no part of
Put
that.
the athletes
And
in
they would all wear the
uniforms.
same colors, and their numbers
No.
were hard to read, and they were 3 digits. It was just
That's 50% more team.
that is 50%
You're
more
right.
team. It is.
Math.
It's a formula.
So
It's a-
you're right. It's a complicated formula that my tiny public school brain would not understand.
Take that,
Thank you, Barkley. I think Barkley's a great guy.
He
man.
is a
I
great
think-
dude.
I love when that
Yeah.
guy shows up. I'm like, Barkley's here. I'm in a better
He had a
mood.
fresh haircut today.
He did,
too.
man.
yeah,
high
he
and
looked
tight.
good.
He was looking fantastic.
High and tight.
So, yeah, at 3:30, I think tomorrow local starts. That's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Always appreciate it. Be sure to check out the Nano X4 from Reebok. Scan the code on your screen.
good.
Yeah, thanks to them for helping us out here, bringing you this our Talking Elite Fitness coverage from Miami. That's it for Lauren and Tommy. I'm Sean. Take care of each other. Be better, and we will talk to you guys